So today we are going to be talking about all the things revealed in Warzone 2's reveal. There is a lot of stuff. I'm going to break it down. A lot of the information is coming from Charlie Intels for some written things we can read along the way, as well as describe some things that we saw and just my general excitement for this experience. And then talk about some things we didn't hear clarification on, but we got some written clarification on. There's a lot to go over, and I hope you guys stay tuned. So first of all, the biggest thing I saw that was pretty mind-boggling was the circle itself. They described this circle as revolutionary, and I think it is because near the end of the game, this circle will split off into different circles, up to 3 different circles, and this is huge. What this does is basically enable players in the game to be constantly moving, especially at the final circle area. So near the final circle, it'll split up to 3 circles, and then it'll slowly condense into 1 circle, forcing teams, if they're in that circle, to move along the way and run into the final circle, giving everyone, I think, a equal footing at the end of the game. And then from there, it'll condense into smaller circle, and then bam. This in general is, I think, pretty revolutionary for Battle Royale because we are yet to see it, and I am looking for it a lot. Now, one thing they talked about, which I was actually mind-boggled on, was vehicles will be tuned completely different in this experience. For example, they will run out of gas, as Charlie Intel writes here. Tires can be blown out, so you can shoot them out. Now, you can repair them and refuel them at gas stations, but you can also repair them, outside of a gas station. Again, this is very interesting and very cool. So another thing we saw was the overall top-down, a proper version of this map overlay, and it looks like Verdansk, but with many modifications like the introduction of water. Now, water is going to be something we can play on and have combat on, and it looks really good. I am pretty excited for it. Again, I like Verdansk the most. I think Verdansk was a phenomenal map. I know a lot of people had critiques about it. They like Black Ops map, more. That's just, I guess, different preferences and playstyle, but this map looks like it's in the Middle East. Sounds like it's in the Middle East, and foliage doesn't look like an issue, and it's filled with a bunch of familiar places of interest like Quarry, Airport is Terminal, and other maps I'm sure along the way you will see. And we have some visual pictures for you guys to, look at. It looks beautiful, looks stunning, and looks like it can be a very fun experience. Now, one thing that's pretty crazy is proximity chat. They've talked about it being a thing. So what that is basically you have a in-game chat where you're always speaking. If you're close enough to an enemy, you can actually hear each other and have a conversation, which I think is pretty hilarious. I cannot wait to see what happens and where it goes and where it takes. I know for me, I'm sure I'm going to have to, I guess you could say, blur out or bleep out some things that people will say towards me because I, censor a little bit for monetization reasons, but it is pretty exciting. Now, for example, if we move on to looting. So looting in Warzone 2 will be loot on the ground like usual and crates around the map. Nothing's changed there. But one thing that is different is health. They mentioned some stuff and it's kind of confusing. We didn't get more details on this, but if you need help, for example, you go to the bathroom and see and look in medical cabinets. It's weird. I don't know how I feel about that, but again, I'm agnostic. I want to play it. I want to see how it feels before I make my final thoughts on it. Now, another thing that's seeing a overhaul in a way is Gulag. It's called Gulag 2.0, and it's in some interesting gunfight familiarity. So players will have to battle out via 2v2. So you will be paired with what sounds like only a random player that is not on your team. You will have to work with this other person to beat the other 2 people on the other side and earn your way back. Now, the funny thing about this is that once you guys leave, you guys are on another team. You guys are enemies, so you guys aren't teammates anymore. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool using proxy chat to work with them. I don't know. It's surprising and also very genius that they did this. The temporary alliance is something I just did not see coming. Now, Strongholds are another addition to Warzone 2.0. It's basically an AI-occupied buildings, and it'll be across the map. You engage with them to get better loadouts and items. Find location of black site to find even better loot. So, again, the AI in the game, I'm not against it. I'm perfectly fine with it. Some people may be different about it. I think it should be on the good side. I don't think they'll be too oppressive. Didn't look too oppressive, so there's that. Another thing is Warzone's getting a second mode called DMZ. This is something that has been an extraction royale. It has been talked about a lot on this channel. It's been leaked a lot, and we get confirmation that this is a free-to-play experience, which I think is great for this style. It was planned, potentially rumored to be part of the paid experience when you purchase Modern Warfare 2, but this is a free-to-play experience as well. I think a lot of people can find fun in this style mode. Now, Warzone 2 and DMC will launch November 16th, which is the start of Season 1 of Modern Warfare 2. Very excited for Modern Warfare 2. We haven't talked about that yet because, again, the beta's tomorrow. I'd rather just go in details and talk about that game when I have it in my hand. So there is that, but in general it looks really good. But now let's talk about what may be some bad news, and that is something called the shop. Purchasing things will be a little bit different, and this comes via an official post from Call of Duty. Charlie Hintel has it on their Twitter, as well as a new and impressive array of ground loot and adjustments on how to access them and store them. One of the biggest innovations is the expanding yet streamlining of your purchases within a match. This comes courtesy of what they call, quote unquote, the shop. These enhanced buy stations serve locations to buy and upgrade equipment and weapons, including the custom weapons you create before dropping in. Here are some actions you can complete at the shop. Now, traditional squad mate buyback is as is in Call of Duty Warzone. Nothing changed there. Buying gear like kill streaks and armor and gas masks hasn't changed either. Limited equipment is actually something interesting. So some items are likely to be limited in number. Once purchased, they are gone from the shop. I'm curious to see what that is all about. Now, this is where things get really interesting and probably going to be a big talking point here. So you can buy a weapon. So prior to the match, your main preparation is focused on creating a number of custom weapons for your next match in Al Miraz. You purchase these custom weapons from here. Note, this takes the place of a full loadout, your primary, secondary, tactical, and lethal, as well as perks. Custom weapons are constructed in the gunsmith and then brought here. They take up your weapon slots. Tacticals and lethals are very common ground loot. Perks will not be available in Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 at launch. Now, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's experimental. Maybe we want to see how it launches without perks. I think this is a great idea. Not that perks are bad, but again, not having perks means even playing fields when it comes to some things like Ghost and Double Tap and other crutch perks we can recall from Warzone 1. So again, I think these are appropriate steps, and besides that, everything I have seen here is very awesome to hear, very cool, and the game itself, whether it's Warzone 2 or Modern Warfare 2, all looks remarkable. I am beyond hype for this title, and honestly, I can't wait to showcase and make content for you guys. So that being said, it's pretty much everything you need to know about Warzone 2.0 or Warzone 2, however you want to call it. Again, very excited, very hyped. I am very much looking forward to this experience. Stay tuned for more content. If you guys are new here and want to keep up to date with that content, definitely hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified for when I do drop that content. But besides that, if you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, enjoyed it, definitely drop this video a like, helps out the video a ton. But till then, that's all I got for this one. Shanaji here, and I'm out.